What's going on, everyone? How's everyone doing? Today, we're just going to be doing the predictions for Pereira versus Hernandez. So let's get into it. Robelis de Spain and Austin Lane. I'm going to go with Robelis de Spain just because Austin Lane is shinny. We've seen him get knocked out. And Robelis de Spain, despite, showing what may be completely fraudulent power, it was against Waldo Cortez Acosta, who's taken some good hits off people. He's taken some big shots off some heavy-handed fighters, and I can't really can't really fault him for that. So, and Austin Lane is notoriously chinny, so who knows? The power of Rebellious Spain might still be true. It just might be Waldo Cortez Acosta as a goated chin. And again, they kind of threw him in the deep end against Cortez Acosta, but Lane also gasses. He gassed against Yonada Deniz. So I'm gonna go with Rebellious Spain, probably a second round TKO. Expect him to control the first round pretty easily, but that second round is gonna be a rough one. Next up, Elise Ardeline versus Melissa Martinez. I'm going with Elise Ardeline. I'm not gonna talk about these fights. Elise Reed, Jessica Penn. I'm going with Elise Reed. Jocelyn Edwards versus Tamiris Vidal. Tamiris Vidal got hit in the boob and quit, and Jocelyn Edwards is somewhat decent, so I'm going with Jocelyn Edwards. Next up, Brad Katona versus Jean Matsumoto. I'm going with Jean Matsumoto because here's the thing. I think he has really good. I think he has good Muay Thai. I think he has good striking overall. He has good shot selection, and with a big reach advantage on Katona, it's really hard to. Katona struggles to find the distance against a good taller striker when he fought Garrett Armfield, who had like a 6-inch reach advantage. Armfield was just really good at keeping him on the end of his punches and just keeping the distance. But Matsumoto, well, I don't think he has the same like boxing as Garrett Armfield because I think Garrett Armfield has really good boxing. I think his overall striking game is better, and I think his takedown defense is good, and I think his ability to threaten submissions off his back and on the back foot when he got that arming, was it an arming guillotine? I think it was an arming guillotine on Dan Argueta. So I don't know. Brad Katona's just kind of disappointed against Jesse Butler. It was slow and he couldn't finish. Jesse Butler as a minus like 600 favorite. Jesse Butler literally moved down from lightweight and he couldn't even like chin him. He couldn't even drop him. Jim Miller slept Jesse Butler in like 20 seconds, and this guy's moving down 2 weight classes, and you can't sleep him. I mean, he got pieced up by Garrett Armfield, got completely destroyed, or completely outclassed by Armfield. And I mean, he went to war with Cody Gibson, and Cody Gibson's not the greatest. He's not the greatest. So I think this is a John Matsumoto win, and I think this is gonna be a good one for him. I think this is gonna be a really good win for him, and I think this is gonna do really good things for him. I think this is gonna be good for his career, beating a two-time tough champion. While people are gonna realize that Brad Katona's not that great, just the title, just saying I beat the two-time tough champion, that's gonna do good things for him. It's gonna do really good things for him. Next up, Mateus Nicolau versus Asu Almabayev. I'm going with Mateus Nicolau. I've been going with Mateus Nicolau since this fight got announced by Big Marcel back in like what I guess July, August. Also, Almabayev. I mean, Mateus Nicolau has been getting chinned, but his takedown defense is really good. I mean, his overall striking is really slick. He's able to slow down a fight, keep it at his pace really well. He does have some. He does have real good pop in his shot. He when he hits people, he it has an impact. And Almabayev, and yeah, we've seen him get chinned in his last two fights bad, but Almabayev hasn't shown an ability to chin people really. and he hasn't and all he's shown is his wrestling and submission. And Matheus Nicolau has really good defensive wrestling, and his submission game is pretty solid. So I'm pretty confident in Matheus Nicolau being able to slow it down, get it done. And you know what? I can see Matheus Nicolau winning probably 30-27. I say he clearly like outlands him in one of two rounds. I think he clearly outlands him in like two rounds, and then the other round where it's close and competitive, he like drops him with like a clean shot, just like a clean 1-2 that wobbles him, and then like lands another shot that drops him, but he doesn't finish the fight. I see a clear Nicolau win. That's what I see. Next up, Darren Elkins versus Daniel Pineda. I'm gonna go with Daniel Pineda. He has kind of pretty nasty jiu-jitsu, and Darren Elkins is a wrestler, and I just don't think Darren Elkins. He's old and he's taking a lot of damage, and it's just not his time. Daniel Pineda's, they're both old, but Daniel Pineda's got wicked jiu-jitsu, and I mean he had a pretty decently close fight. Not I'm not gonna say it was close. I mean he clearly lost to Nathaniel Wood, but you know he had some moments on the ground against Nathaniel Wood, and that's what's important. Next up, Brady Highstand versus Jake Hadley. Fun fact: this is not Brady Highstand versus Jake Hadley anymore. It's Cameron Smotherman. Who? Wait, let me see this. Oh my god, my phone's about to die. Oh my god. 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 Is this still on for this weekend? Yep, it's still on for this weekend. He will be fight. Uh, Jake Hadley will be fighting Cameron Smotherman. He'll be fighting Cameron Smotherman. If you've seen Cameron Smotherman fight, if I'm correct, I think he's how tall is he? I think yeah, he's a good bit taller, and he's like the same age as Jake Hadley. Let me see his reach again. Holy fucking shit. Oh, never mind. He doesn't have. Okay, I thought he had like a really short reach. He has a 69-inch reach. I mean, Cameron Smotherman hasn't beaten the greatest of guys, but he's beaten okay guys. He's beaten decent opponents. Decent. Not anything crazy, but decent. I mean, he lost to Charlampos Gregorio on the Contender Series, and Gregorio is just, man, is he shit. Man, is he shit. But to be fair, he kind of just got caught with a shot, and so far, most of his opponents have been just, caught with a random shot. And that kind of sucks, but it's just fucking, ugh, Jesus. Man, that Jack Charalampos Gregorio loss, that is not a good loss. Losing to Charalampos Gregorio is such a bad loss. That is such a bad thing because Gregorio's so slow and he's like trudging along just everywhere. But I mean, he beat Mondo Gutierrez, who Gutierrez also fought in the Contender Series, and he was on the Ultimate Fighter, but he just hasn't shown anything. I mean, his loss was to Raw Rosas Jr. and his fight against on the Contender Series he lost to Cody Gibson, so I can't even value that win. Ryan Cuse beat 7-1 Ryan Cuse. Oh, and then beat a fucking 4-6 guy. Oh, we don't like that. We don't value that. Yeah, I think Jake Hadley's probably gonna style on him. I think Jake Hadley's probably gonna beat him on the feet. He's gonna beat him on the ground. I think he's just gonna beat him everywhere the fight goes. I mean, I just don't see anywhere that Smotherman has shown that he can beat Hadley, because Hadley has shown he's good on the feet. I mean, he's shown really good combination. I mean, most of the time when he's losing on the feet, what Charles Johnson you're losing to on the feet? I mean, Charles Johnson is incredible on the feet, so can't blame him for that. What you're losing to fucking who? You're getting outgrappled by Alan Nascimento. Alan Nascimento's giant for the division, and he's really fucking strong. So can't blame you for that. Well, no, I can, but yeah, I just see him really taking out Jake. I'm kind of glad that he didn't fight Brady Highstand because I think it should be Brady Highstand versus Raw Rosas Jr. next. I think that's the better matchup. But yeah, I think just this is just a better matchup for Jake Hadley. This kind of makes Charles Johnson look a lot better, if I'm being honest. This makes Johnson look way better. But who knows? Maybe Cameron Smotherman pulls off the upset. I mean, he did get like a flying knee TKO, so he could do anything. I don't fucking know. But I'm taking Jake Hadley probably by, I'll say second round TKO. Second round TKO is a good one. Charles Johnson versus Sumu Dwerji. It's not Sumu Dwerji, it's Sumu Darji. I'm taking Charles Johnson anyways. I just don't think Sumu Dwerji's in it like Charles Johnson is. I think Charles Johnson is probably he's in the best position of he's ever been in his career. I mean, he just knocked out Joshua Van. He was on a 3-fight win streak, and then Van went on to beat Edgar Shires like 2 months after this. So that makes Johnson look way better. And that was on like 2 weeks' notice. I was on 2 weeks' notice for both of them. And Johnson was able to outpace and knock Joshua Van out. I mean, he was able he beat Azat Maxim, who was 17-0. He beat Jake Hadley, who was 10-2 at the time. He beat Jake Hadley like literally a fight ago. Like just man, he's on like a tear right now, and Sumu Doerji just he got steamrolled by Tim Elliott. So, and I just see Charles Johnson. I just see him being able to mix it up on the feet, and I think this is a good fight to mix in his. I think he can mix in his grappling. I mean, I think he has pretty decent takedowns. He's a pretty well-rounded fight. He doesn't show his wrestling a lot, but I think he can. I think this is a good fight for him to show it. I think he's just. I think he's gonna beat the shit out of Sumo Dwerji. And you know what? I'm gonna say second round submission. I say he submits Sumo Darji in the second round. That's my prediction. Charles Johnson submits Sumo Darji in the second round. I say he lands a crisp combination. You know what I think? I think he lands a clean straight right that drops Sumo Darji. And then I think as he's beating the shit out of Sumo Darji's gonna go to his knees to get back up. Charles Johnson, he's gonna get the hooks in, and he's gonna choke him out. Sumo Darji's gonna give up the neck, and he's just gonna choke him out. And I think Sumo Darji's gonna tap to it, and I think that's the end of Sumo Darji. Charles Johnson, second round submission. Next up, Kyler Phillips versus Rob Font. I'm taking Kyler Phillips. Let's be real. I think he's far more explosive. Here's the thing about Rob Font. He's really fucking good. But man, his chin just fails him, and he's never been knocked out. But his chin will just fail him, and it's the most tragic thing in the world. Because he'll be on like a generational run. He'll be like beating the shit out of someone on the feet, and then like Marlon Vera, he'll be piecing him up the entire fight, and then he'll just, oh, I got hit in the head, and I'm going down. Just not great for him. Just not good thing for him. And Kyler Phillips, he's super explosive, really fast. He's got good hands. He's got good takedowns. I think he's gonna be able to mix it in, and you know what? I say this might be the first man to knock out Rob Font. I'm gonna say this might be the first guy to knock out Rob Font. You know what sucks for Rob Font? He was supposed to fight Song Yadong at one point, and I think he would have beat Song. I think he could have done really well. I think he could have beat Song Yadong, but just isn't his time now. Kyler Phillips versus Rob Font. Taking Kyler Phillips. I'll say first round KO. I'm gonna say first round KO, and you know what? I think it's gonna be brutal. I think it's gonna be by flying knee. Next up, finally, actually, Anthony Hernandez versus Michel Pereira. I'm gonna go with Michel Pereira. I mean, dude, Pereira's just on a tear at middleweight. I think since the weight cut's easier, he's able to put more power. He's got more power in his hands. I think his cardio is probably gonna be better because he's not cutting as much weight. He seems fucking bigger. He's far stronger. And honestly, he's more composed than ever. I think his composure is going to be a key factor. And you know, I think he's just going to land a smashing body kick. I think he's going to land a smashing body kick, and I think he's just going to. I think it's going to be a first round TKO for Michel Pereira. And like, I like Anthony Hernandez. Here's the thing: I think if he can get Pereira to empty the gas tank early on in the fight, then I think it's open season for Anthony Hernandez. But I don't think. I think if he gets Pereira to empty that gas tank after getting hurt, I think the ref's just gonna call it. I think the ref's gonna call it. So I'm taking Michel Pereira first round TKO. The Michel Pereira title run starts now. This is the man that I would honestly pick. I think MMA Guru made a good point. I think he made a great point. I think Michel Pereira, like you see Anthony Hernandez versus Robert Whitaker. You're gonna pick Robert Whitaker because you don't see anything that Anthony Hernandez poses that's really gonna be too big of a threat besides what cardio. But Whitaker has great cardio. What, he's going to take him down? Whitaker has elite takedown defense. Michel Pereira. I think you get a little bit worried. You're like, well, you could catch Whitaker, and Whitaker's getting kind of chinny. If Pereira could catch Whitaker, that might just be it. So I'm going to take Michel Pereira. This is a weird matchup because I think they're both stylistically terrible for each other. Because Anthony Hernandez is a bit soft bodied, and, he's a bit. Uh, but the thing about Michel Pereira, he's known to slow down in fights. He's super explosive, and it's like Michel Pereira's explosiveness and his like finishing threat is bad for Anthony Hernandez, and Anthony Hernandez cardio and pace is bad for Michel Pereira. So they're both terrible for each other. But I think Michel Pereira is going to be able to get it done. So I'm taking Michel Pereira first round TKO body kick. And that's it. See ya.